Why playing it safe is the riskiest move. In life, we are always presented with two options. Whether you're working 9 to 5 or whether you're working as an entrepreneur building a business, you always have these two options in front of you. You either take a risk or regret the fact that you didn't take that risk. And there are pros and cons to these actions. If you decide to take a risk on something that's important to you, what usually happens is something you didn't know before you learn. You can start learning lessons and start bettering yourself. You can improve from what you're not good at. Don't be afraid to take risks as long as it's calculated risks or whatever you need to do in order to get you to the next level. So it's a risk because you can spend that money and not get the outcome. But until you spend that money, until you spend that time, you don't know the results that you're going to get. So my recommendation is take a chance. It can be a small step and do your best in order for you to learn from the lesson that you get from that thing. 2, confidence. When you take a chance, what usually happens is it helps you build your confidence. Confidence comes from competence, you being able to be competent at doing something. Most of the time, people think that they just hit their chest and they just say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this. But how you actually build real confidence is not by you just saying affirmations and saying words. It's by you following through with the things you say you're going to do. There's something that happens when we actually decide to go do something and we follow through. Like this year, the beginning of this year, I told myself that I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to read the word of God every single day. I'm going to meditate every single day. And guess what? I've not missed one day. And that actually influences the way I move in life. It influences the way I speak and show up. Because if I'm coming on a live like this and I'm saying some of these things and I'm not doing it myself, I can't show up as the best version of myself. There'll be conflicts within my head. The beautiful thing about taking risk and following through with the thing that you say you're going to do is it helps you to build your confidence. If you're struggling to build your confidence, one of the things you should start to do is take a risk on something. With whatever resources you have right now, take the step and do it. And it's going to help you to build your confidence in the long term. Confidence, as I mentioned earlier on, is not built by hitting your chest. Is built by you being able to be competent in something and you believing in yourself and following through with the things you said you're going to do. 3, real growth. Now, how does real growth happen? Real growth doesn't happen by you just writing goals on a piece of paper and hoping and praying that it comes to pass. It happens from taking a chance, taking a risk, learning from it, building from that, and growing and evolving from that. When I started my digital marketing agency, I thought I knew a lot about digital marketing. I tell you now, and when I started, the amount of information I've gathered and the amount of stuff that I know just by doing it. If you are thinking about doing something, it's never the same if you are reading about it in a book or you're watching a video online on YouTube about it. When you start immersing yourself inside something, the chances or the tendencies of you learning increases drastically. If you want to take risks, you want to take a chance, if you want to bet on yourself, the pros of that is lessons you learn, confidence that you build, and the real growth you experience. It can be monetary growth, it can be learning and improving your vocabulary, whatever is important to you. Once you start to do the thing, it's only when you get the benefit from doing the thing. Now, if you don't take the chance and you don't take the risk, what usually happens is you start to live with a word called regrets. You start to resent certain people who are doing the thing that you want to do. Why? Because somewhere in your heart, you feel like you are supposed to do the thing, but you let yourself down. So I want to talk about the 3 things that usually happens when you don't take risk, the 3 forms of regrets that usually happens. 1, learn nothing. Have you ever seen an account on Twitter and the person has 0 followers and no likes, but the person has an opinion about everything? You post something and you come and write a long essay and start to explain to you why it's not so and why this is this. But for some reason, they are not putting those ideas out on their page to educate people. They are only attacking other people. I find that very fascinating. When you are not doing certain things, the chances of you learning is very low. Because how can you learn, or how can you say you are learning if you haven't done the thing, if you're not attempting to do the thing, or you're not around people doing the thing? The biggest regret is not being able to learn. And if you don't learn something new, it's very difficult to grow. 2, lack of confidence. Have you ever tried to go and give a presentation somewhere, right? And you're mumbling all over your words. Most of the time it's because sometimes you're not too privy with the topic you're talking about, or you're not too confident about the topic you're talking about. Let's say you just started a role in a new company and they decide to give you the platform to come and speak to the team about something, you feel like, I'm new, what do I have to say? If you're not careful, you'll be mumbling around your words. It's because you as a person, you've not built your confidence. You lack confidence in that topic. It doesn't mean you're not a confident person. When it just comes to that topic, you lack confidence in that topic. There are certain people, when it comes to talking about cars, they'll tell you they're introverts, but they can talk about cars for like a whole 1 hour. There are certain people who say they are introverts. Oh, I don't like to talk. But when you bring up fashion, they can't keep their mouth shut. There are certain people who will tell you that, oh, I don't like to talk. But when you start to talk about soccer, oh my goodness, they stand on their feet. They can tell you everybody's game and Ronaldo. So it's not usually about, I don't like to talk. The truth is, we have specific topics we like to talk about. And when we don't have a topic that we are privy about, we start to feel like we're not competent enough to discuss that topic in public. That's just the difference. So you build your confidence by doing the thing and learning from it. 3, missed opportunities. Have you thought about all the things that you were wanting to do and you never got a chance to do? How would that have played out? Maybe somebody called you to come and give representation and you felt like you're not qualified, so you didn't go. What if that was your opportunity or your biggest break in your life that was about to come, but you blocked it because you felt like you're not ready? What if that friend of yours who is telling you to go for that networking meeting with them and you feel like, oh, I don't want to go because I don't have a business? What if that is a blessing from God you are blocking because you feel like you're not ready? What if you, the person who have all these different opportunities, you're praying to God to give you opportunities in your life? Opportunities are presenting themselves, but you cannot show up as the best version of yourself because you feel like you are not ready. Missed opportunities are like trains that come and pass. Another one will come and pass, but the only downside is this: the one that came to pass is gone and you have to wait for the next one. If you do not take a chance and you don't take a risk, missed opportunities, lack of confidence, nothing learned. But when you are able to be bold enough to take a risk, you learn lessons, you build your confidence, and you experience real growth. Here is the lesson from today. You cannot win big if you never bet on yourself. My name is Kimbwari. If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch my next video.